said go pokes. I shared my flask of Red Hot to warm you in the cold. Sang closing time at Murphy's and stumbled down the strip. By the time the daylight found us, we were raptured by the myth. We were unsinkable, waving at the shore, feeling like conquistadors. Unsinkable, sailing through the void by the stars of Capricorn. Young, dumb, and beautiful. I got a job in Tulsa with the Wildcatter crew. You moved back home to Ardmore till I saved enough for two. By the time you started showing, we were already engaged. Graduated happy to apprentice and afraid. We were unsinkable, giggling like a baby in the middle of a war. Unsinkable, fighting hard to keep our faith in unicorns. Young, dumb, and beautiful. We live in the wake of love feels somehow counterfeit. Football games on Saturdays like dope fiends take a hit. I taste the days of old with every sip of beer. A life I can't revisit, so I wear the souvenirs. We were unsinkable, never had a doubt about the oath that we both swore. Unsinkable, charging like a bull into the matador. Young, dumb, and beautiful.
The name of that song is titled Unsinkable. It was written and recorded by my special guest today, Chad Henry of Chad Henry and The Setbacks. He is from Guaymas Island, which is right next to Anacortes, Washington. He's been based there since 2021. He has a new album that's going to be released on April the 17th, 2026, called Songs for Broken Voices. Chad, welcome to the Friday Afternoon Music Mix.
Hi, Greg. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You contacted me when your debut EP came out, sent me some songs which I liked, and I played a couple of them on my show. Recently, you got back in touch with me to let me know about the new album that's coming out. You had a long career in telecom, then a teacher at Skagit Valley College, a musician, joined up with some pretty talented people. Tell me how that band worked out.
I think the start of it was really from the end of my career. I was working in telecom, traveling a lot, trying to do the thing in tech and telecom, and eventually, for various reasons, ended up with a very kind of difficult and chronic case of burnout. So after many long discussions with my wife and kind of struggling my way through that, I decided to stop working in that capacity. And so I just kind of resigned one day after some difficult developments at the company I was working at, and kind of didn't really have anything else. I had no idea what the rest of my life would entail. I had been doing that kind of work since 2008. And so this was in late 23 when this happened. So I did a little traveling. I went to Peru and saw Machu Picchu and just hung out with the wife for a couple of months. And eventually, when we settled back in town here and on the island, I just kind of grabbed my guitar and some things fell out, and I thought that was interesting. And then kind of figured out who else could help me make a record, and then went and did that. And we made the EP, the Against the Tide, prior to ever playing live or anything like that. I really, my idea was just to sort of document this process and this time in my life. And so that EP was a result of that. I think a more fully realized and sort of better document of this particular time will be this record, Songs for Broken Voices. It's a more cohesive record front to back, and it's more intentional in kind of the lyric approach and the general theme of it. I've been really fortunate that by doing it, ended up finding other folks that were interested in it and helped me bring it to fruition, because I didn't have any contacts whatsoever, especially musical contacts in the Skagit Valley when I started. I moved here during COVID and everything was in lockdown, and I didn't even know anyone locally. It's really been a welcome event to not only engage in creativity again, largely for the purposes of trying to heal and kind of reclaim some aspect of myself that I felt was almost given away too cheaply to my prior work. But it's been a wonderful process, a healing process, and just something that's made me feel a lot more like myself than I was feeling before.
Let's mention your band members. Jim Reeder, who's your bassist, also your producer. He has a studio called sparerecords.com. Your drummer is Chris Martin, and your keyboardist, violinist is Dan Burnett. The four of you put together this group. I know you were a little hesitant putting your name with it.
I started the project with our prior drummer, a guy named Luke. He was the one that convinced me to put my name on it. And the more I thought about it, it kind of makes sense. I wanted to just be a guy in a band and, have a band name. But I also realized that there's a point in a musician's life that if you're writing the material, you want to have this sort of freedom of what configuration you're playing with at any given moment, especially a guy in his 40s. The folks that help me make the record may not always be available, and I may still want to play, and I may write a song that can have many configurations. So I thought that kind of makes sense. And so the way I think about it now is like the Setbacks are kind of whoever is playing with me at any given moment. And it can change a bit depending on what we need with the record or with the live setup. So it gives me some degrees of freedom that I think a real band wouldn't necessarily have.
Let's do a second song from this new album. This is titled The Other Side.
He's an all-state player in all three sports. He's a guitar picker, knows all three chords. There's an 8.98 on his bedroom wall. Just took a spotlight rifle and a good grunt call. He has a hard time thinking past Friday night. Receivers go deep and he hits them in stride. But even in his cleats he's only 5'9". He'll never see over a D1 line. And his friends can't wait to go. They get tired of drinking beer on the old dirt road. And they dream about their lives, where the frat parties go from 5 to 5, when the tassel moves over to the other side. He ain't gonna sit for no SAT. Ain't getting bossed around by no damn Marine. He runs around like an untamed horse, or wind across the plains with hurricane force. Now the whistle is about to blow. He's fighting like hell to bring that trophy home. It'll prove that he was alive, for them college boys wouldn't left him behind. And the tassel moved over to the other side. About to blow. He's fighting like hell to bring that trophy home. When his friends head off to thrive, he knows roughneck hours are 5 to 5. When the tassel moves over to the other side, he knows roughneck boys are more likely to die. When the tassel moves over to the other side.
You're originally from Oklahoma.
That's right.
Did you play music while there?
I did. Yeah, I got into music very early. First guitar was a gift from my grandfather, and I can't remember if it was birthday number 13 or 14, but it was somewhere in there. Had no idea really what I was doing, but quickly got into making up stuff with other friends, playing in bands and stuff there. As I got out of high school and into kind of early college years, I teamed up with a couple other guys that were a little more serious, and we ended up doing some college radio type stuff and a little light touring associated with a band that we had at that time. And through that, having that ability to make stuff that we felt was really working, that had a certain vibe and aesthetic to it that we felt like was really good. I just felt like that creativity bit just never really left, even though I didn't do it for many, many years after that. But I think that was something that I wanted to get back to, creating something that I enjoyed.
On the new album, Songs for Broken Voices, there's a quote that you have. I wrote this record for anyone who's ever felt unheard, unseen, or unworthy, for those who've lost their voice or feared it wasn't worth sharing. As you said earlier, an album about healing.
Yeah.
One of the subjects is a mother loving through recovery.
Yeah. My experience in Eastern Oklahoma, a very small town where I grew up, has been one of observing many situations of addiction. And there's a cycle associated with it. There's addiction, and then there's recovery, and then often there's addiction again and recovery again. And so the song that is referencing is called Filter. And it really just kind of chronicles this mother observing her son. He's out of recovery, he's eating cake, but she realizes that likely this journey is going to continue, that likely this recovery, it's not the first, and it likely won't be the last. And she's older, and she's still working, and she's still supporting this son who's having a difficult time. And it really is just about her love. And at the end of the song, it talks about the fact that her goal when she had this child was to outlive it. And that's still the goal. That never changes. So that's really what that's about. The record is basically every song is from the perspective of some different broken voice. That's kind of the thing that ties it together. So it's thematically held together, but it's not necessarily like linear or anything like that. And so that song is toward the end of the record. It's just a light acoustic song.
You do have one song that's kind of upbeat, though, and that was written for your wife, Chelsea, and it's called Lucky Me.
Actually, Lucky Me is from the EP. It's really about how lucky I am to be her husband. It's one of the ones that I often play if I'm playing a kind of solo songwriter gig or something like that.
Let's do a third song from this new album, Songs for Broken Voices. This is called Goalposts.
I wasn't one of those kids that didn't have a clue. I was pretty good in school before I got on with the crew. Boss couldn't look me in the eye when he broke the news. What do you do when the goalposts move? I paid tuition for my girl down at Bama State. She said he ripped off her pearls before he had his way. A year ago she'd have the right to choose. What do you do when the goalposts move? What do you do when the goalposts move? It leaves you flat-footed in some hand-me-down shoes. What do you do when the goalposts move? Leaves an honest man to wonder if the truth's still true. We moved to the suburbs 10 years ago. Thought it was safer, but now I don't know. The cop shot my neighbor with 35 rounds. I'm just about to tear these goalposts down. What do you do when the goalposts move? Leaves you flat-footed in some hand-me-down shoes. What do you do when the goalposts move? Leaves an honest man to wonder if the truth's still true. Do you fly off the handle in a blinding rage? Do you bury your head and pretend we're the same? Do you hug your kids and apologize? Smile at strangers, but avoid their eyes. What do you do when the goalposts move? Leaves an honest man to wonder if the truth's still true. Leaves an honest man to wonder if the truth's still true.
People can follow you and get in touch with you. The website is pnwsetbacks.com, as in Pacific Northwest. Instagram.com/Chad Henry Setbacks. YouTube.com, Chad Henry and the Setbacks. AppleMusic.com, Bandcamp.com, Facebook.com/Chad Henry and the Setbacks. You've got a gig coming up soon on Saturday, May the 9th at the Arcadian Public House in Conway, Washington at 4 o'clock p.m. That was formerly Conway Music. That location is fantastic. You have a debut EP that came out on October the 18th, 2024 called Against the Tide. The new album is Songs for Broken Voices. Release date is April 17th. I understand you're a big fan of Roger Clyne and the Peacemakers.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I think the thing that captivated me the most was Roger's ability to write from a place of being happy and still being kind of inspired in that kind of writing. The record I still think is by far the best is called No More Beautiful World. An incredible record.
My special guest today has been Chad Henry of Chad Henry and the Setbacks from Anacortes, Washington. Chad, thank you so very much for being on the show today. It's been a pleasure to talk with you, and I hope we'll get to meet each other in person soon.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate what you do and your show.
Let's go out with one last song from this new album. It's called Death Toll.
You took it on the chin when the world got sick. No tables to wait and no end to the bills. Had a loan to repay for your demo tape, but couldn't take the stage to pay for your meals. Now you're baptized in red wine, watching it go up in smoke. The call sign in your life was starving artist, now you're just flat broke. And dreams aren't counted in the death toll. Government money helps, keeps food on the shelf, but they can't send a check for your dreams. Your bassist up and left, couldn't pay his rent. Your drummer's starting up a youth ministry. Now you're baptized in red wine, watching it go up in smoke. The call sign in your life was starving artist, now you're just flat broke. And dreams aren't counted in the death toll. Should you double down, head to Guitar Town, throw caution away on the Wanderlei. The universe conspires, but you're on fire. If you've learned anything, it's there's no time to waste. Now you're baptized in red wine, singing out loud like you're not alone. In the confines of your kitchen lights, where the microphone is a bottle of Merlot, and dreams aren't counted in the death toll. Dreams aren't counted in the death toll.